Deshaun Watson. Is there value at 3 first-rounders for Deshaun Watson? And again, we know, as I said, starting off the top of hour 2, all first-rounders are not created equal because when you trade with another team, you immediately start rooting for them to be as awful as possible so that you can end up in a situation like the Miami Dolphins are this year with the Houston Texans, where I don't think the Miami Dolphins ever remotely believed that they were going to get the number 3 overall pick. And in fact, this is why a lot of times you see in the NBA these trade picks protected, right? Like, hey, if we end up in the draft lottery, we get it. But if it's below, 11 or 12 or whatever it is, because I think if you had given the Miami Dolphins the ability when they made this trade, if you could have locked in like number 13, I think they probably would have taken it. Said, okay, we'll take 13 just in case the Texans are going to end up advancing to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl or whatever else, and we'll take a middle, high middle round value. And now they get the number 3 overall pick. So my point on this with Deshaun Watson is you would rather trade with, let's say the Jets, who I don't think, sorry Jets fans, are going to be that good for the next 3 years, then you might want to trade with the Miami Dolphins, who I think the Dolphins are going to be pretty good for the next 3 years because that could value in many ways where your pick ends up. But let's presume that this is a team that you think is not going to be great. Would you give up 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson?
I mean, that's what it's going to take. I said last week I wouldn't even consider an offer if I was the Texans unless it was something like 3 first-round picks. So,
yeah.
And especially after the Stafford deal with 2 first rounds and a couple other picks tossed in there, I think you start at 3 first-round picks, and if it's anything short of that, you don't even really listen to the offer.
I mean, I'm curious. Do you think that the Rams talked to the Texans before they ended up getting this Matthew Stafford deal done? Because if they're willing to give up 2 first-rounders and they want to get rid of Jared Goff, I can see the Texans need a quarterback, right? And if they think that they're going to have to rebuild now, I wonder how much more the Rams would have had to give to get Deshaun Watson.
Well, yeah, and I saw that report that they reached out to the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. So if
that's just ballsy. I love the move.
Yeah, exactly.
They beat you in the playoffs, and then you're like, well, let's go ahead and check and see if Aaron Rodgers, if they're interested.
So if that's the case, you got to think they were pretty much weighing in all options. And to me, the Houston Texans would have been a great option if I'm sure they did reach out.
So one more. I mean, that's the one question I have out there. If you are the Rams and what are they giving up? 2 first-rounders. They get Jared Goff, which basically is kind of an asset to them to get rid of him. 2nd rounder and a 3rd rounder, is that right? Going forward. I mean, the picks obviously all roll together, but I think my point is how much more would they have had to give to get 25-year-old Deshaun Watson as opposed to 33-year-old Matthew Stafford? And how close did they come to potentially making the move with the Texans as opposed to the Rams? And who else now is looking at the value out there for Matthew Stafford and thinking, okay, now's the time we got to go get Deshaun Watson? For instance, if I'm the San Francisco 49ers and I now see in my division that Kyler Murray continuing to come on, we know how good Russell Wilson is. We think that Matthew Stafford is going to be a revelation with Sean McVay. Do I really want to roll out there with Jimmy G? Or are the 49ers now in a position where they have to go in a super aggressive manner because of what the Rams did and put an offer on the table to potentially be able to go get Deshaun Watson themselves? That's the kind of chess move that the Rams have made that now forces the 49ers potentially to make their own move in order to keep up with that division.